Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. If you're a DM that has ever wanted to have a particularly scary encounter for your players, then look no further than the Succubus. Please enjoy my tale as I tell you about the time I used a Succubus for an encounter and nearly destroyed the party in the process. This all started a long time ago during a COVID game. I was invited to DM for a group where their DM took a small break because they were burnt out. Looking over his notes, the group had been running around doing some, really light quest stuff. They fought some undead, took down a local sea hag, and then this is the part where I started to come in. The DM that left this campaign behind for me only had a few basic notes of where he thought the campaign would go next, and on that brainstorming sheet, there was one monster's name: Succubus. Now, for those that don't know, Succubi are crafty creatures. Their main shtick is that they are fiends of charm and temptation, and that they're shape changers and can transform into anyone. And on top of that, their kiss is deadly. And this is specifically shown through their Draining Kiss feature. The fiend kisses a creature charmed by it or a willing creature. The target must make a DC 15 Constitution saving throw against this magic, taking 32, on average, or 5d10 plus 5 psychic damage on a failed save or half as much damage on a successful one. The target's hit point maximum is reduced by an amount equal to the damage taken. This reduction lasts until the target finishes a long rest. The target dies if this effect reduces its hit point maximum to 0. So needless to say, that if you're the target of a Succubus's hunt, your hunter could be anyone. And not only that, they can basically pop into or out of reality at will. Succubi also have this feature known as etherealness. With this feature, Succubi can enter or exit the ethereal plane at will. But while they're on this other plane of existence, they can also communicate telepathically with targets that are under the effects of their magical charms. So needless to say, the party was going up against quite the threat. So we set the scene. To start the mystery surrounding the Succubus, the party went to investigate a string of disturbances and murders that had been taking place in the port town they were staying in. After finding the local guard and showing the guards their mild street cred from their previous adventures and wins, the guards decided that this party was trustworthy to work with. The guard gave them insights to what was happening, and then the party went to work. On their first stop, they decided to sneak into where one of the previous killers had been living before he committed his murder and decided to look for clues. As the party entered, they saw scribbles etched into the walls and seemingly on every surface of the room. Tons of deranged writings. "Soon, my love. Your beauty is unlike anything, even from the realm of the gods. I'll make you happy. I'll be worthy of your love. I'll set you free." And there were other depictions of a beautiful woman near the scribbles as well. The crew came to the conclusion this person was basically just nuts and didn't think too much of it until they talked to the guard again and found that other killers were basically saying and rambling about the same things. They kept referencing a beautiful woman and screaming out in joy, saying things like, "Now we can be together," and just laughing maniacally. And they didn't even really sound like they cared that they just stabbed someone and that they were being taken into prison. And then, as the party was starting to gain more and more understanding and piece together more of these clues, it was at this time that the players couldn't help but feel like they were being watched by someone or something. Something that they couldn't see. Something just out of their reach. They continued, however. As the party continued their investigation from the following day, they came to learn that all the murderers who had been involved in these strings of incidents had all passed away in the night. What had actually happened, unbeknownst to the players at this time, was that the Succubus visited her thralls in the night, gave each of them a kiss, and killed them, stealing their very souls, leaving husks of flesh for the party to find the morning after. As they were investigating the victims, the guards stormed the dungeons and surrounded the party. They circled them and pointed their spears at the party and demanded that they stand down. The reason is, several witnesses claimed that they saw the party members attacking people in the square, and when the guards came, the party fled. But for some reason, they came here. So now at this point, the guards believed that the party had it in with these other murderers, and that if they were leaving them alive, they would snitch on the party. And of course, too, when the guards came the morning after and then found all of the murderers dead, it didn't really make the party look too innocent. Realizing what was about to happen, the party scattered. The cleric and the bard managed to slip out, but the ranger and the monk got captured and then detained. The remaining members fled, promising to the party that they were going to come back once they had a plan. and they returned under the cover of night to free their friends. Through some crafty Misty Step spells and a lot of general sneakery, the party snuck into the prison and managed to meet up with the party. However, they still needed the keys to open the prison bars, but the rest of the party promised that they'd be out soon. And this was when they heard a voice, an enchanting, alluring voice, calling to them from the darkness. The party turned and saw a pair of glowing red eyes, and poof, out steps an exact copy of the bard, staring at the party from across the room. The succubus, disguised as the bard, coyly said to them, "Oh, so sneaky. It would be such a shame if someone alerted all the guards." And then she ran. The cleric and the bard chased after her, seeing the trail of blood and chaos she left in her wake. "Sound the alarm! We're under attack!" Shouts and panic rung out through the prison. The party had to act fast. The cleric and bard frantically looked for the keys amidst all of the confusion. And all the while, screams of terror ran through the halls. Guards were backstabbing other guards. The cleric and the bard were popping up in one area, taking a life, and then disappearing seemingly into thin air. No one had any clue what was going on. Except for the succubus, of course. "Your friends won't be able to save you." Her voice rang out to the monk and the ranger. "No, they'll get us out of here, you'll see." "Maybe they will. But not alive, that is." Then she reached out to them and tried to charm them with her magic. The monk was able to stave off the magic, but the ranger wasn't so lucky. "Kill him," she whispered to the ranger. The monk tried to hold back his friend. He didn't want to hurt them, just keep them restrained long enough for the party to come back and free them. But that ranger was putting up quite a fight. She was cackling at them, laughing that they were just a simple loose end that she wouldn't even need to stress about tying up. And at this moment, the cleric and the bard burst back into the holding cell rooms with a handful of guards in tow. As they were about to run to the cell door, that's when everyone truly saw the succubus for the first time. And then all the clues started to make sense. While still mildly confused, the guards didn't know who to fully point their weapons at, the party or the fiend. They started to realize at that moment that there was much more going on. "It's over, you ugly fiend," the monk spat at the succubus while still struggling with his friend. He kept taunting her, insulting her, until she snapped. She pushed the monk off the ranger and kissed her newest victim. The ranger failed their constitution saving throw, and from already being beaten up a bit by the monk, they didn't have a ton of hit points left to begin with. She brought him down to 0 hit points. She cackled as she vanished into the ethereal plane, with her newest kill in tow. The party after this worked closely with the guard to plan for any future succubi attacks, and even went on a mini quest to retrieve the ranger's lost soul to resurrect them. But in this one session, I realized just how chaotic a single succubus can be to a campaign. Their craftiness, their shape-shifting abilities, their charms, and their constant disappearing act make them a ridiculous nuisance to deal with. And it's these kinds of monsters that really make your party members need to think. Sure, most players will often go out and try to hunt some big monster, maybe for, a rare item that they'll be able to craft with, or just as part of a quest, but it's not every day that the players are the ones that end up being the hunted. Anyways, that's all that I have for this story. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, then please like this video and subscribe for even more D&D content. And animated content. This one took me a long time to make. This is one of the biggest animation projects that I've worked on. So when I say it did take me quite a while, I do mean it, so I do really hope that you enjoyed this. But anyways though, you can probably still expect some more animation projects from me in the future too. So in the meantime, keep smiling, keep scheming, and I'll see all of you next time.